Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about anime again. The reason I'm making this video is more just like a follow-up to the previous video where I mentioned that I did watch an unhealthy amount of anime over Christmas break. This is the follow-up video where I talk about all the anime that I've watched in 2022. In this video, we're probably not going to go over all the anime I watched, simply because if I had to include all the anime that I've watched, then it'd be a pretty long video. So we're just gonna talk about all the anime that I have watched that have also aired during this year. Without further ado, let's just pop right into it. So we're on my anime list again, as usual. Shout out to my anime list. Shout out to the founder of my anime list. Don't know who that is, by the way, but shout out to you. This is not a sponsored video. Let's just jump to winter 2022. And would you look at that? I'm pretty sure I have made a video about winter 2022. If my memory serves me correct, I guess we can skip winter 2022. If I'm feeling like it, I might put a card up there, so if you want to watch it, you can. I don't think my opinion of any of these anime have changed. Ranking of Kings is still probably one of the best anime this year, and Demon Slayer is still okay, and Attack on Titan is still the GOAT. I'm just very confused as to why Attack on Titan has 2 parts to a final season. I would have expected the final season to end in the final season. I guess we're getting a final season part 3, maybe part 4, and maybe a movie. I'm not sure. I kind of just want Attack on Titan to end, to be honest, because I kind of just want an ending. I don't really care what the ending is. I just want an ending. My Dress Up Darling is still very good. Shout out to My Dress Up Darling fans. Basically, I've talked about all the anime here already, so I think we should just move on to the next season. Spring 2022 has quite a few bangers. We have Spy Family. Me personally, Spy Family was pretty damn good. Yeah, Spy Family is incredibly solid. I don't actually have anything bad to say about it. As a fellow manga reader, I must say that I prefer the latter half of Spy Family, whereas the first half, or at least the first big chunk of Spy Family, isn't very like story focused, whereas I think the latter half is a little bit more story focused, and I think that's when Spy Family starts getting good. But so far, nothing bad to say, no complaints. And it's funny, Yor is best girl, best MILF, as a matter of fact, and Anya's best child. What the hell? I'm not sure if saying that sounds weird in any way whatsoever, but Anya is best child, and Lloyd is obviously just the Giga Chad that he is. Moving on to the anime next to that, Kaguya-sama Season 3. Once again, nothing bad to say. I mean, it's Kaguya-sama. It's funny. There actually is the aspect of romance this time, rather than just like slightly teasing the romance aspect like like the previous seasons did. I personally think that this is probably the best season of Kaguya-sama, simply because there was some sort of progression. The 2 main characters weren't just being a bunch of little bitches. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I was gonna watch Shield Hero actually, but from what I've heard from other people, season 1 is probably the best that Shield Hero is ever gonna get, or at least the first half of Shield Hero. The second half of Shield Hero, I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't really like it, but yeah, that gives me more of a reason not to watch season 2. This next anime is called Shikimori-san Is Not Just Cute. I personally just didn't really like the anime, so I dropped it at 2 episodes. It basically follows this girl, Shikimori, and how she's this main character's girlfriend, and she's not just cute, but rather some cool Giga Chad behind the scenes. I thought this concept was pretty basic, but I can get behind it. I think the reason why I didn't really like this anime is mainly because the scenes felt a little too dragged out. Like in manga, you can like breeze through an entire chapter, for this series at least, maybe in like a minute. The anime just drags these scenes on for like ever. When they try and drag like a 5-second scene into 10 minutes, that gets kind of boring, and that's probably one of the reasons why I dropped it. Not the best anime this year, but a good attempt. Komi-san Season 2 was a massive disappointment. I did watch Komi-san Season 2. I finished it as well. It started off incredibly mediocre, and it got slightly better at the end, but that doesn't like excuse like the 11 episodes that it had to get good. I think the second season tried too hard to be funny, and it ended up just not being funny. The next anime I watched in spring 2022 is Aharen-san wa Hakarenai, which is sort of like I can't understand or comprehend Aharen-san, which is the tiny little child here that is supposedly a high schooler. I mean, she looks like a fucking infant for all I care, but I guess she's a high schooler. The story of this one is pretty similar to Komi-san, I'm not gonna lie. It's basically just a quiet girl that makes cute noises, I guess. However, I do have slightly better things to say about this one than Komi-san. The best thing I can say about this one was that it was a very calming watch. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but if there was like a compilation of cute scenes, I'd probably watch that. The next anime is Paripi Kome. The summary of this one, if I can even explain this, is basically this ancient Chinese dude gets sent to the future. He uses war tactics to make this girl famous because her singing is really good. This is definitely a more interesting premise and definitely not something you'd see every day. The reason why you can see that I did drop this anime is mainly because I got kind of bored with sort of the formula of each story arc. And yeah, I did drop it, but I did watch a big chunk of it. Like, I think I got up to like 10 episodes, but then I just couldn't watch the last 2 simply because I just got bored. For all I care, this was a pretty good anime, and it was pretty funny as well, and it probably had one of the best openings this year. But let's move on to summer 2022. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't actually watch that much anime. I don't think I've actually watched that many anime from summer 2022. Some of these I haven't really added to my list yet. Like, for example, I watched Yofukashi no Uta, but I haven't added that to my list yet. Let's start with this one then, which is Call of the Night. Similar to a lot of the anime that I've watched in 2022, I don't actually have anything bad to say about these, aside from it was good and it was a nice watch. But if I had to describe this anime in a single word, it would be vibes, because this anime is vibes. Because of the tiny minute details and the background and the music choice just absolutely slaps. And even if you don't like the story, I'm sure you're gonna just enjoy the animation and the way it presents itself regardless, simply because I don't even think the story itself is like the highlight of what makes this anime so good, but rather the atmosphere and, once again, the vibes of the show. It was just a really relaxing watch. I don't think you can go wrong with this one. It also has a pretty solid side story along with it. I definitely think it's a very solid show that I don't regret watching in 2022. Another show that I've been watching is Rent-A-Girlfriend season 2. I've only watched like 2 episodes. I think I want to try finish it just so I can see another scene with Sumi-chan. I don't really have much to say considering I've only watched 2 episodes, but so far the animation really is the highlight of this show. The story or premise for season 2 seems alright so far, I guess. I don't know. I have to finish it first. And here we have another one of those anime where I put in the category of the manga was better, because the manga was better. I'm pretty sure I made a video on this manga a long time ago. I think it was like the first video I made on the second video I made on YouTube. Oh my god! Similar to the Shikimori-san one, where I think the manga just paces itself a little better, because the anime kind of just drags everything out because they have to meet that 24-minute quota. This was just a very slow watch, but I guess it was okay. The comedy was alright, the romance aspect was okay, but I just think the manga did it a lot better. I did finish this one, but I had to give it a 6, simply because I was kind of just watching it stone-faced. But it was pretty nice seeing a manga that I really enjoyed getting adapted, so yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons why I actually managed to finish it. The final anime of summer 2022 that I've watched is Futo Tante, which is basically the anime adaptation of Kamen Rider W. If you don't know who Kamen Rider W is, he's basically a superhero, technically, or a masked rider, hence the name Kamen Rider. I grew up watching Kamen Rider W, and Kamen Rider W is, in fact, my favorite Kamen Rider out of like the 1,000 Kamen Riders that are out now. And I still think that even without the Kamen Rider aspect, the story of Futo Tante is still pretty damn good. And that's also one of the reasons why Kamen Rider W, or at least the original live action series, that was one of the reasons why it was still one of my favorites, is because the characters that exist outside of the Kamen Rider fight scenes can still carry the show as normal characters. I'd actually reckon that the anime does a better job at telling a better detective story than the original live action Kamen Rider W, simply because they don't have to rush every detective scene to make up for a Kamen Rider versus monster battle. And they can sort of flesh out some episodes where they just focus on the mystery, and they can like leave one episode for the big boss fight or something. It was really nice seeing the actual detective aspect of Kamen Rider W. And basically, to summarize the plot of Futotante, basically there's two detectives that solve weird crimes, but they're detectives, so whatever. And these two detectives can combine into one Kamen Rider, and they fight bad guys. For a first Kamen Rider anime adaptation, I think this did pretty damn good. Now we're on the final season of 2022, which is fall 2022. And this is probably the most hyped season, mainly because Chainsaw Man came out. Obviously, your boy had to watch Chainsaw Man, and the quality of Chainsaw Man definitely met the expectations of the fans. Like, every episode felt like it was a movie, and like every episode had its own like special ending, and every episode just felt like a roller coaster ride from start to finish. The first season definitely set very high expectations for the rest of the coming arcs, and I do hope that they do make a season 2 sometime soon, because the next arc is absolutely insane, and also one of my favorite characters appears. And Chainsaw Man is definitely one of the best shows I've watched this year. Spy Family Part 2, I don't really have anything much to say about this one. I guess it was really funny, it was very cute. I guess it's Spy Family, that's all I can say. Yor Forger, best MILF. Anya, best child. Lloyd, best Giga Chad, that's all I can say. Mob Psycho Season 3. I think Mob 3 wasn't exactly as good as the first 2 seasons, but I think the ending was very satisfying, so I'll give it that. I don't think Mob Psycho Season 3 is particularly interesting, but I definitely think the strongest part of Mob Psycho Season 3 is its ending. Well, depending on whether or not you want to watch 9 to 10 episodes of scenes just for that 3 episodes of god tier storytelling, then be my guest. By all means, watch this. For the most part, I think as a standalone season, it wasn't really that good. But yeah, like once again, the ending really did carry Mob Psycho Season 3. 7 out of 10. End of story. I also have been watching Blue Lock, but it's not completed yet because it's a 2-core anime, and I've only watched 12 episodes, considering there are only 12 episodes out. And so far, I'm pretty satisfied, I guess. The animation is good sometimes, but most of the time it feels like I'm watching a PowerPoint presentation. That's probably the only complaint I have. Overall, the story seems pretty one-to-one with the manga, and I don't have anything bad to say about the manga, considering how much I like the manga. And I don't really play football, so I don't really know if this like a realistic, I mean, obviously it's not realistic to like actual football, but I think as a story it's pretty interesting, and I'm not sure how that might affect the reading experience if you do know stuff about football. I definitely think the concept of Blue Lock is pretty damn interesting, whether or not you like football or not. So yeah, I really enjoyed Blue Lock. Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War. So it's been a really long time since I've watched Bleach, because I've never watched Bleach. I've only read the manga, which I have completed, but I completed that in like Form 2, and I was like 13 at the time. My memory's pretty hazy about Bleach, and I don't necessarily remember everything, but I do remember this arc being pretty damn good. The anime has reminded me that I have forgotten a lot about Bleach, and I should probably catch up somehow, but I'm not really bothered to do that. So yeah, I kind of just walked into Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War blindly. I don't have too many complaints about Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War, simply because I'm not familiar with the world of Bleach. But Bleach as a standalone season, I'd say it's pretty solid. The fight scenes are pretty good. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Moving on to Urusei Yatsura. I wasn't originally planning on watching this one, but I've seen some people talk about this one as sort of like the original progenitor to the waifu phenomenon. So I figured I'd have to give this one a shot and see what they were up to. And the first couple episodes, I think I've watched up to, I've definitely watched a fair bit. It's a 2-core anime, it's 23 episodes, but I've definitely watched a pretty big chunk of this one. But I did drop it because I just got kind of bored. I'm not gonna lie, some of the scenes are pretty annoying. And sometimes I just can't stand the main character. as well as some of the supporting cast. I mean, this was a pretty old series that just got retouched with modern animation, and although the animation is pretty damn good, I don't think the story really kept up with the times. And I definitely think that this anime probably would have hit harder if you watched this growing up, which I didn't. So I didn't really have that nostalgia factor. And the only thing I really got out of it was, yeah, this is a pretty decent anime. And if I watched this back when I was younger, I'd probably really like it. And the only reason I can really think of that would make me like this anime if I was younger is probably because the main heroine doesn't really wear that many clothes, as you can see on the poster there. I gave it a fair shot, I watched a huge chunk of it, didn't like it, and yeah, we move on. Another one of the anime I've watched this year is Kurudoji Danshi, which translates to play it cool boys, or like keep it cool guys, or something like that. But basically, the premise of this one is pretty simple. It's basically a bunch of, not just guys, but a bunch of like cool, handsome guys that blunder in life. And basically the whole appeal of this one is you basically just watch these cool guys play it cool when they do dumb shit. Like, for example, going to a convenience store, taking your stuff, bringing it to the cashier, and after the cashier like scans all your stuff, you realize that you don't have your wallet with you. And they play it cool in a pretty cool way because they're cool guys. And then yeah, that's it. The reason why I watched this one is mainly because I've read the manga. It works as a short form manga. I don't necessarily think that works as an anime, considering like most scenes are like a couple pages long, and the anime has episodes that are like 11 minutes long. 11 minutes is still pretty damn long for a manga that survives on short scenes. But I did think it was pretty cool that a manga that I was pretty invested and interested in got their own adaptation that not a lot of people knew was coming out. So this is a pretty nice watch. And I watched a big chunk of it, similar to Urusei Yatsura, but I had to drop it simply because I don't think the anime adaptation was particularly entertaining. But the final anime that I've watched this year is Bocchi the Rock, and it's basically about this girl who's really socially awkward, and she joins a band and makes friends. Yeah, that's really about it. And that's also my favorite anime this year. And if you want to know why it's my favorite anime of 2022, then there is a video on this somewhere on this channel. And in conclusion, that is all the anime that I've watched in 2022 that have also aired in 2022 and would like to catch up on some anime that have aired in 2022, then you know what to avoid and you know what to watch. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this pretty long video of a random weeb talking about anime, and yeah, I'll see you in another video.